Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrutyam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye nashtaprayesha vadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 27, Text number 9. Tava avataraha ayam adokshaja iha bhuvaha bharanam urubhara janmana chamupatinam abhavaya deva bhavaya yusmat charana anuvarnitanam tavavataroyam adokshajeha bhuvo bharanam urubhara janmanam chamupatinam abhavaya deva bhavaya yusmat charananuvarnitam tavavataroyam adokshajaneha bhuvo bharanam urubhara janmanam chamupatinam abhavaya deva bhavaya yusmat charananuvarnitanam. Please chant. Taro yamadokshajeha bharanam urubhara janmanam Pataroyam adokshajeha Pranam janmanam Amabhavaya deva Matajis? Tava your avataraha descent. I am this Adokshaja, O Transcendental Lord, Iha into this world, Bhuvaha of the earth, Bharanam who constitute a great burden, Urubhara to many disturbances, Janmanam who have given rise, Chamupatinam of military leaders, Abhavaya for the destruction, Deva, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhavaya for the auspicious benefit, Yusmat your, Charana lotus feet, Anuvartinam of those who serve. Translation purport by his disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami, Srila Prabhupada. You descend into this world, O transcendent Lord, to destroy the warlords who burden the earth and create many terrible disturbances. O Lord, you simultaneously act for the welfare of those who faithfully serve your lotus feet. Purport. This verse utilizes an attractive poetic device, Lord Krishna's descent into this world. He is said to be for the abhava, literally non-existence or destruction of the demoniac warlords, and simultaneously for the bhava or existence, prosperity of those who faithfully serve the Lord's lotus feet. True existence indicated here by the word bhava is Satchidananda, eternal and full of bliss and knowledge. To an uninformed observer, it may appear that Sri Krishna is simply rewarding his followers and punishing his enemies the way any ordinary person might do. This specific doubt about the Lord is raised extensively in the 6th canto in connection with Krishna's taking the side of faithful demigods against the faithless demons in a particular cosmic war. In that canto, the Vaishnava authorities clearly explain that in fact, Lord Krishna is the Father and Lord of all living beings, and that all his activities are therefore meant for the benefit of all existence. Lord Krishna does not really cause the non-existence of anyone, rather he curbs the foolish, destructive, material ways of those who defy the laws of God. Though these laws are created to ensure the prosperity, harmony and happiness of the entire creation, and their violation is an unjustifiable disturbance. Certainly, Indra hoped that Lord Krishna would count him among the devotees and not the demons, although considering Indra's actions, one might doubt where his loyalties actually lay. Indra was aware of this possible doubt, and thus, as we find in the next verse, he tried his best to surrender to the Supreme Lord. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vrishabhanu Sute Devi, Pranamami Hari Priye, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadara, Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishnaya Vasudevaya, Devaki Nandanaya cha, Nandagopakumaraya, Govindaya Namo Namaha, Namo Pankajanabhaya, Namaha Pankajamalini, Namaha Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangraye. Hare Krishna. Last minute replacement. One Chapati devotee was telling me, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj told all the brahmacharis. Brahmachari means any time, even night 12 o'clock, somebody wakes him up and asks him to give class. He should be able to give class. Right. Uh, I remember once Tejas Prabhu, he was telling past time that in Hyderabad, they made a temple and all. And then there was a program. So Srila Prabhupada told, Prabhupada was supposed to speak. And then suddenly Prabhupada told, Tejas will speak. That too in Telugu. So Tejas Prabhu went and then he was actually looking for some Telugu words in English, like Telugu words like that. And then Prabhupada called, what is Tejas doing? Somebody reported Prabhupada is preparing. No, call him. Like that. So he called, what are you doing? And Prabhupada, I was looking for some Telugu words. No, you cannot, Bhagavatam class means you cannot prepare and come. Whatever Krishna inspires you, you talk. Of course, we don't, we cannot follow, right? Actually, many of the ISKCON devotees, they do like that. Come and speak. Huh? Speak whatever Krishna inspires. Today I will do that. Huh? So, in this regard, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti says on this verse that Indra is telling the Lord that, my dear Lord, I have forgotten that actually we are the ones who prayed to you, near the milk ocean for your appearance, because the earth is overburdened by the miscreants, adharmis. So, because of my foolishness, I have forgotten. You're the same same Supreme Personality of Godhead who appeared to protect the demigods and annihilate the demons. So now he is having a doubt whether he is a devotee or a demon. Like that. Like sometimes we have read in Brahmaji is praying that, my dear Lord, I am actually Brahma Rakshas coming from Satyaloka, because I have disturbed you and your pastimes by my foolishness. So if I any longer I stay here, then I will trouble you more. Right? I will trouble you more. Like that. So like last time I was discussing that Brahmaji prayers were not accepted by Lord Krishna. I was saying like that. Anyway, I already told. But Brahmaji was afraid that if I present, if I stay here for some more time, I'll be committing more offenses. So that is why he closed his prayers and offered obeisances and went back. So he is calling himself Brahma Rakshas for disturbing Krishna's pastimes. So here, Indra also, Vishnu Chakra is saying that he is also had a doubt. So, my dear Lord, uh, you come here to punish the demons and then give mercy to the devotees. But I am having a doubt uh, yeah, whether, because he is already saying, don't punish me. So then I don't know whether you will give me mercy. So you're very, I am very worried, disturbed that you are being neutral to me. You're being neutral to me, like that. Brahmanand Prabhu was saying that Prabhupada told him, it seems, the greatest curse for a disciple is when the spiritual master neglects him. Neglecting means, like, when the spiritual master, like, authorities also, same thing. When authorities see that some devotees are committing some mistakes or some doing something wrong, if the if that authority has love for you, he will actually chastise you, try to correct you. In this, it's like the spiritual master also. So, but if the spiritual master thinks that this guy is, suppose if he talks back to the spiritual master, right? Once one disciple approached Srila Prabhupada, and then Prabhupada, he was actually sporting a mustache, right? Mustache and little beard and all. So Prabhupada asked him, why are you keeping a mustache? Uh, then he replied back, Prabhupada, you are also having mustache in your Grahastha life? If you see Prabhupada photographer, there is a mustache. Prabhupada was so angry. He said, rascal, get lost. So, okay, you do whatever you want. I like, like that. So once one devotee wrote to Srila Prabhupada saying that I want to learn astrology, right? I want to learn astrology. Prabhupada said, what is the use of learning astrology? Many times Prabhupada told, nowadays, ISKCON has become uh, mixed, right? They go to astrologers and all that. But Prabhupada, during Prabhupada's time, nobody would dare to go to astrologer and consult and all that. Anyway, Prabhupada told him that what is the use of learning astrology? Uh, then you chant Hare Krishna, right? You chant Hare Krishna, you clap and chant Hare Krishna. Prabhupada said all the lines will change, right? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Yeah. Just check. Lines have changed. Right? So then he didn't. Then he insisted. I want to learn and all that. Prabhupada said, "Can you tell when will the war happen? When will our next ISKCON temple will come up? All that, can you tell?" Then he told Prabhupada it will take 10 years for prediction. Bhavishwani, it'll take 10 years. Yeah, I said, that's what Prabhupada told. Why you want to waste 10 years? So he still insisted, that he wanted to learn astrology and all. Then he was learning also. Then Prabhupada, neglected him. He said, okay, you do whatever you want. Like that, Nitai, Prabhupada told him to prepare some syllabus for Gurukul. He didn't prepare. Then, uh, then he said, Prabhupada asked him, where is the syllabus? Then Prabhupada he said, I didn't prepare. Prabhupada told him, you are in Maya. Right? Then he became very angry. Yes, Prabhupada, I'm in Maya. like that. And then later on he comes and tells, please give me blessing that I may get a bona fide spiritual master. Can you imagine? And then Prabhupada cursed him. In 1 million lifetimes he will not get. Right? Like many times, we say Bhakti Rasam Sindhu we read, and then we say we should follow, Raganuga Bhakti. We should follow one Brajavasi. We should follow one Brajavasi. So one devotee went and asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, can you suggest which Brajavasi I have to follow? Prabhupada said, I am also Brajavasi. Right? You follow me? Like that. Anyway, so Indra was very, Vishnu Chakur says that, don't be neutral to me. So this is very, very important, Uh, whether, Krishna should not be neutral to us, or Prabhupada should not be neutral to us. If you do something wrong, they should chastise. Otherwise, upeksha is very, very dangerous for a disciple. Upeksha, neglect. So Brahmanand Prabhu was saying that I was praying to Prabhupada that, please, because he was having some spiritual problems and all. So he was very, very afraid that, Prabhupada would do upeksha, neglect. So this is where, now Indra was worried, please don't neglect me. So now he is actually telling the reasons why Krishna appears. Right? All of us, we know how in the beginning, at the end of Dwapar Yuga, there are so many miscreant kings. They are overburdened. They have overburdened the earth. So Mother Earth was feeling a very heavy burden of all these miscreant kings. So, in Ramayana and then in Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, two reasons are given. There are many kinds of sinful people. There are many kinds of sinful people. They can live very peacefully on the earth. Mother Earth doesn't feel any burden. But only two kinds of people, they feel they are very, very burdensome for Mother Earth. Do you know who are they? One are liars. Another is in Ramayana, Kishkindakanda, Lakshmanji says, ungrateful people. Kratagna. Right? If you are ungrateful, you are a grateful. If you are a great fool if you are ungrateful. Something like that. So these two kinds of people, they are very, very burdensome. So in present circumstances, two kinds of people Prabhupada told, in the 1940s, Prabhupada wrote an article, I've read. So two kinds of people, they are very burdensome right now. You know who are they? Politicians and liars. Liars. Prabhupada used to call liars. Not liar, liar. Like that. So Prabhupada wrote one very nice article. I still remember, long time back I have read. So the gist of that article is, the sky is the beginning, and then from the sky, the earth, ethereal element. From ethereal element, the air is coming. From air, fire is coming. From fire, water is coming. The earth is coming from water. So earth is having all the qualities of previous elements. So Prabhupada said, when politicians in the parliament and in speeches, and the lawyers in the courts, when they tell lies, the sky's ether is contaminated. So because the air is coming, air is contaminated. From then fire is contaminated, the water is contaminated, earth is all elements, they become contaminated, polluted, because politicians and lawyers are telling lies. In the same way, when the devotees chant loudly, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, This, devotees, when they chant, Prabhupada said, the ether is purified, then whole world will become purified. All the elements will become purified. Air is purified, water is purified, everything is purified if we chant loudly. That is why Srila Prabhupada said, the devotee, even though there are many preachers who do a lot of lectures and all, make devotees. But there are devotees who simply chant Hare Krishna. Prabhupada wrote in Chaitanya Charitamrita, no, a lecture on 5th chapter Bhagavad Gita, that a devotee who is simply sitting and chanting in his room, he is also the greatest preacher, because the insects that are not seen and they are hidden in the crevices of the some door or some wall and all. When a devotee chants, when those insects, they hear the holy name, they also become delivered. That is why Prabhupada, we should, unfortunately, we are unable to go for Harinam. We should go. Prabhupada said, Shrunotam Swakata Krishna Punyashram Kirtanam, on that shloka lecture. Prabhupada says that, the devotees, all these impious people, they don't like to become pious. But devotees, by chanting Hare Krishna loudly on the streets and near the stations and all, they are forcing the people to become pious, because they are, without their knowledge, holy names are falling into their ears. Right? So, we should chant loudly, not, somebody asked, Prabhupada, can we chant in the mind? Prabhupada replied, can you eat in the mind? If you can eat in the mind, you can chant in the mind. Right? Ajapa Japa, some these guys, they have Ajapa Japa, they have. But our system is chanting very loudly, Hare Krishna. Even while chanting our Japa also, little loud, little. But when the holy name, Harinam Sankirtan, loudly we should chant. So this is the reason why Krishna appears. So that's what so there are two things. One is lessening the burden of the earth. Another is, increasing the pleasure of devotees, like that. But Prabhupada says, Krishna mostly appears for the pleasure of the devotees than for destroying the demons. So many demons, they are dying, because of, I cannot, anyway, so many people are dying, they have died because of COVID. So Prabhupada writes in he speaks on 5th chapter Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada says all these devastations, they happen because Krishna is displeased. Right? Krishna is displeased. So why all these, cyclones and typhoons and earthquakes, they come? Prabhupada said, because Krishna wants to tell us that he exists. He exists, like that. So that is one. I will tell you, in regards this Govinda, Krishna's name Govinda. He is going to get Govinda, this name Govinda. I already told one reason. I will tell you one more reason. Like Govinda, he's like a, in all the post office nowadays, the email. अभी letters कोई नहीं भेजता, right? Previously, in our childhood, we used to have the letter exchange. We used to write letters to each other, cousins and friends, right? Till the time I joined, I was preserving all those letters written by my cousins and friends and all. It was nice. So for that, in order for that letter to reach, the pin code you should write. Otherwise, it is difficult for them. Like that, in order to reach Krishna, this Govinda is the pin code. Pin code. You know how? Prabhupada, I was reading Mahabharata commentary. So in that, Sanjaya comes. Sanjaya comes and tells in the Sabha of Draupad Maharaj that, all these Kauravas and all, they are all demoniac people. They have caused a lot of problem. But you, Yudhishthir, you are a very saintly person, dharmic, you are personified dharma. You already lived in 13 years in the forest, in the association of many saintly persons. Now you also have become very saintly. So better you continue. Why you want a kingdom where now you have to fight with Duryodhana and kill so many people? So better for you to stay in the forest. Continue, because you are already saintly person. Saintly persons, they should live in the forest. Like that, he sent a message. Krishna became very angry. He walked away, walked off from the sabha. So Arjuna is his tail. Oh, Krishna, Vasudev is not there. Then Partha is also not there. So Partha also walked behind him. When Arjuna walked away, then what's his name? Satyaki. He also became upset. Then he also walked away. And then behind Satviki, Bhima also walked away. So then Nakul Sahadev, everybody, only Yudhishthira Maharaj was left because he is very, very polite, like that. So then he understood that Inka pulse is with Krishna. No use, trying to convince Yudhishthira or Pandavas, because because Krishna is the guiding force for them. If I can convince Krishna, then whatever Krishna will tell, these 5 Pandavas would do. That is why he wanted a private meeting with Krishna. The kings, they have a ekanta bhavan, ekanta. So nobody can go and disturb during that time. So Krishna had that, ekanta bhavan. So he was sitting in that ekanta bhavan, and then Krishna was sitting with Arjuna, Draupadi, and Satyabhama. Nobody is allowed. Nobody is allowed. And at that time, so Sanjaya came. So then the Dwarpala came and told, this Sanjaya wants to meet you. Right? Sanjaya wants to meet you. Then Krishna said, okay, let him come. So everybody was surprised. How come, Krishna is allowing in that Ekanta, nobody is allowed. Nobody would dare to come, even Yudhishthira Maharaj and all that. Then at that time, when Sanjaya came, at that time, he saw the scene there, and then it got imprinted on his heart, and then he was completely moved by that. What he was doing, Krishna was keeping his head on the lap of Satyabhama, and he was keeping his lotus feet on the lap of Arjuna. Then Arjuna was massaging the lotus feet of Krishna, and then Draupadi, she was actually fanning Krishna. So Krishna became very angry with Sanjaya. He said, those enemies of Pandavas are my enemies. So I came here, to destroy the enemies of Pandava. So Arjuna asked Vasudev, how come you allowed him in this Ekanta? Because I wanted Sanjaya to see how intimate Draupadi and Arjuna, you are to me. He should go and tell them. That's right. So Krishna was telling that he was thinking that actually, how can I spare the enemies, the persons who have insulted Draupadi, like that. So then he was recounting that in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also it is mentioned that when Draupadi was actually chanting, praying to Krishna for the help of Krishna. She started, saying, "Oh Krishna, oh Dwarkadish, oh Achyuta." Like that, she was telling so many other names. So Krishna was waiting when she would call me Govinda. you know. And then when Draupadi said, last word was, "Oh Govinda!" And then Krishna immediately ran. So one Shiva Vaishnavacharya says, this pin code for Krishna is Govinda. You know, if you want Krishna to come immediately, call out Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. Krishna said, whoever is present in Draupadi during Vastraharan of Draupadi, I will kill all of them. I will kill all of them, including Pandavas. Because Pandavas also, actually, that Acharya says that Krishna wanted to kill even Pandavas, because Pandavas also, they simply was watching Draupadi Vastraharan, by sticking to so-called dharma, instead of, saving my devotee. Right? But I could not kill Pandavas. I didn't kill Pandavas because my Sakhi, my pure devotee Draupadi, she will become grief-stricken. I didn't want her to become widow. That is why I didn't kill Pandavas. Otherwise, they deserve to be killed because they were watching. They were watching Draupadi being disrobed. That is why Krishna says, "Oh Draupadi, when you called my names separately, Govinda, Govinda, like that, just because you called me like that, I became indebted to you. I cannot actually repay my debt to you because you have called me Govinda, Govinda like that." So that is actually, Krishna performs all these wonderful pastimes. Then when the devotees, they read how Krishna is so affectionate towards his devotees, then we get a desire that, I also should become a devotee. So that, like in that verse last time I have quoted, that Stenaha Surapa Mitradruk Brahmaha Gurutalpaga Stri Raja Pitru Gohanta Pataki Nana Yachapare Sarvesham Yad Agavatam Idam Vaha Sunishkritam Nama Vyavaharanam Vishnu Yat Syad Vishayamatihi. So Srila Prabhupada comments in this regard that whether we are chanting attentively or inattentively, it doesn't matter. But anybody who is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Krishna remembers him. Krishna remembers that person who is chanting. So Prabhupada says, Krishna becomes attentive towards that person who is chanting Hare Krishna. Right? So Krishna thinks, it seems, oh, this person is chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Now it has become my responsibility to save this person. How am I going to save this person? Like that, sometimes Krishna becomes worried, it seems. Because Indradumna Maharaj, what's his name? Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindayor. Ambarish Maharaj. So Ambarish Maharaj, he was such a pure devotee, Savai Mana. So Krishna was so much worried, he left Sudarshan Chakra with Ambarish Maharaj to protect him. Still, he is worried, it seems, how am I going to save my devotee? Like that. So that was Nanam Rupe Gunajanma Karmabir, Devatas are praying that Nirupayatva Tavatasya Sakshinaha. So it is said that, my dear Lord, your name and your form and your activities, they cannot be understood by this empirical process. Nirupayatvena Tavasya, Manovachabhyam, Anumeya Vatmanam, and then Devakriyayam Athapi, Pratiyanti Atapihi. Devatas are praying that, my dear Lord, only by devotional service to you, uh, people can understand your name and qualities and your form and all that. Right? In the previous verse, Sattvam Nache Datar Idam Nijam Bhavet Vijnanam Ajnana Bhidavimarjanam Gunaprakasher Anumiyate Bhavan. So, Devatas, the Prabhupada wrote a very elaborate purport on this verse. I will tell a gist of that purport. Prabhupada writes that there are many people who iconoclists or something like that. Then anthropologists and all. So they, some foolish, stupid people, they say Dasavatar, fish, and then tortoise, like that, they have some commentary. WhatsApp knowledge, WhatsApp guru, right? WhatsApp university, they keep on, even devotees, they circulate this message. It's very, very offensive, right? So, Prabhupada is writing that there are many people who think that, God is formless, right? God is formless. Or God has created this world and then he left it, so he became old now. Yeah, now he's an old man, right? Like, many people, Brahmaji means, they put, beard and all that. All nonsense, Brahmaji, they never become old. They never, beyond 30 years, they don't, like only for 30 years, they age, Indra and all, they age only up to 30 years in higher planets. After that, they don't become old. So what is this, Brahmaji having, white beard, right? Like that. So they think that, some people, they think that, it is burdensome. So, that at last, so he became, his back is bent. Like that, many people, they have misgivings about your form, my dear Lord. Unless you come and appear in this beautiful form, of Shamsundara form, Vasudeva form, people will be misguided. People will be misguided. So, Vijnanam Ajnana Vidavi Marjanam. Unless you come and appear in this form, which is complete, Nijam Sattva. Nijam Sattva. Sattvam Sattvam Nache Datar Idam Nijam Bhavet. So, Nijam Sattva means Vishuddha Sattva. Your body is made of Vishuddha Sattva. Unless those people who understand this one aspect, that Krishna's form is Vishuddha Sattva, not of three modes of nature, Ajnanam, Vijnanam, Ajnana, Vidavimarjanam. Their Ajnana will be destroyed. Those we understand that Prabhupada writes that these Mayavadis, they think that Krishna's form is made of Sattva Gun, in mode of goodness. Right? So those who understand and develop love for you, those who worship your wonderful form, they develop prema, and then you give your qualities to them. Guna prakashair anumiyate bhavan. Right? So very, very beautiful purport. So it is. So that is why Krishna appears in this world. Otherwise, people will have one devotee. He was sharing his realization in London. She was actually distributing books and all. So she was living in a place where there are a lot of Muslims are there. Muslim population is there. So every day one Musliman would come and tell that you are going to hell. You're going to hell. And then the devotee said, okay, let me read Quran so that I can understand what type of hell I'm going to go. So one day one lady, she came. So what? Are you going to tell me which hell I'm going to go? He said, no. I got a dream, right? That God is in a bluish form. God is in bluish form. Acha? My Allah is in bluish form. Like that. Then he showed the photograph of our, photograph of our ISKCON, books. Like that. Does he look like this? Yeah, he looks like that. Then he said, take this book, take this book. And then he sold that book, it seems. Like that. So, uh, otherwise, people think that, he's formless, Krishna himself, avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyate maam abuddhayaha. There is some supreme, some light and all. 99% Indians, 99% all these dadiwala sadhus and all, they have this idea that, ultimately there is impersonal Brahman. From impersonal Brahman, Krishna is appearing, avatars are coming. So Krishna's form and Rama's form, they are in the mode of goodness. That's why Prabhupada says they are called Mayavadis. That is the definition of Mayavadi. Mayavadi means those who think. 91, when I started reading Prabhupada books very seriously, I was coming across, that time I was not attached to ISKCON. I was just reading on my own. Then I was coming across this word, Mayavadi, Mayavadi. Prabhupada, I was thinking, who is this Mayavadi? How to recognize? They have some horns or like that, right? Mayavadi, Mayavadi, Mayavadi. Then later on, I found out I was living among so many Mayavadis because all my family members are Mayavadis. My mother, my Badima, they were all followers of Shankaracharya, and what is it? Yoga Vasistam, their favorite grantha is Yoga Vasistam. Once Mahaprabhu, Advaitacharya was reading Yoga Vasistam, Mahaprabhu went and beat him. Right? So, during that time, I used to watch so many movies. So, all my attraction for my movies saved me because I was not attending any of their satsangs. Otherwise, they were having all satsangs, all my, Yoga Vasistam, and then Devi Bhagavatam, their favorite, Devi Bhagavatam, Yoga Vasistam, like that. So, अरे तो ये सब मायावादी इधर ही है. Mayavadi means one who thinks that Krishna's ultimate form is Nirakar. When there is a time, yada yadehi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata, that time Krishna comes in the form, Rama comes in that form, then he has a body of made of mode of goodness. So demigods are saying Sattvam nache tatar idam nijam bhavet vijnanam ajnana bhidavi marjanam. Right? So anybody who understands that your body is made of Vishuddha Sattva, then his ajnana will be destroyed, and then you will give them prema. That is why for that purpose, my dear Lord, you come. Otherwise, people will misunderstand that God has no form. Right? All these dadiwalas, they keep on, telling God has no form. Brahma, Jiva Brahmaika Brahmaikyam. Brahma, Jiva Brahma Aikyam. You go and merge with Brahman, like that. Right? Once I asked one Musliman that you pray 5 times in a day. If Allah has no hands, Allah has no legs, Allah has no ears, how will He hear your prayers? Yeah. True, like that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while arguing with Chandkaji, he told that in the beginning it is mentioned that Allah is impersonal, but in the end of Quran it is very clearly mentioned that God is of bluish color. Complete description of Krishna is there, it seems, in Quran. Mahaprabhu says like that. So it is there. So in order to establish this, that is where you come. But Prabhupada writes in fourth canto Bhagavatam, Swayambhu Manu's teachings to Dhruva Maharaj. He says that there are many histories. There are people keep on talking about Hitler and Bonaparte, Napoleon Bonaparte, because they were instrumental in killing so many people. So many people, especially Hitler. Hitler killed 10 million Jews. They have opened, concentration camps where Prabhupada was saying that they were used as guinea pigs because they were all this, Glenn Marta, some German company is there. Bayer, then Bayer, they all, guilty of this. They were actually, there is a lot of human trials they are making. So they are testing all these medicines on these Jews in the concentration camps. And then so many people used to die because wrong, just many people they die. Sometimes they take a, write in writing, human trials that if anything happens, it's okay. Like that, like that. So, and then Prabhupada was saying that they were made to eat their own stool. They were made to drink their own urine because they were not giving them food and all. They were tortured like, they were helium gas they were passing and then people are dying. Like the 10 million Jews, they were killed in concentration camps. And then in World War II, 40 million people have died, all over the world. Like that. In the First World War also like that. So now they have, bulldozer Baba, the first bulldozer Baba was Mao, he was telling all the old people, क्या करेगा तुम लोग, जी के क्या फायदा, unless he burden, they would bring bulldozers and drive on them. It seems old people, mar jao. So he killed around 50 million Chinese, his own people, and then Stalin. So Prabhupada is saying in the purport that every year there is some new book about Hitler and what he did and all that. Then Prabhupada raised this question that who created Hitler and Napoleon? Hitler and Napoleon. And then so many countries have tried to kill Hitler and all. But ultimately, after he committed suicide, Prabhupada raised this question: who created Hitler and Napoleon? Then who killed Napoleon and Hitler? That is Krishna. So we should be worried about this history about Krishna, not this stupid Hitler and Napoleon or Shah Jahan or whatever. Right? हमको क्या फर्क पड़ता है कौन बनाया ताजमहल? Right? They are saying Rani Mahal. Now they are saying Ranga Mahal or Rani. Hindus are saying Tejo Mahal. Some Ganesh temple and all they are saying. Oh, they are saying Taj Mahal, Shah Jahan ne banaya. Right? As I think she was his 9th wife or something like that. 14th wife? Once one girlfriend was asking boyfriend, how much do you love me? He said, yeah, I love you so much. How much? I love you so much. How much? Like Shah Jahan? Yeah, Shah Jahan. So will you build Taj Mahal? He said, I already purchased the plot. You're only delaying it. Like that. Like that. Prabhupada says, what is the use of studying the history of all these guys? You study the history of that personality who created these guys. That is real history. Right? That is real history. Like that. So, this is the reason why Krishna appears in this world. That, live his wonderful pastimes. Right? Krishna has done 2 favors. One is by teaching Bhagavad-Gita. And then by enacting so many wonderful pastimes that khatam hi nahi hota hai. Right? Krishna's pastimes describing, khatam hi nahi hota hai. I will finish by, by giving another meaning to Paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya cha trishrutam, Dharma sansthapanapaya sambhavami yuge yuge. It's very important. So, when we study Bhagavad Gita, what comes to our mind? Huh? What comes to our mind when we study Bhagavad Gita on a regular basis? The picture on the top, right? Like that, Srirangam Brahmana. Huh? No, yeah, that's Krishna and Arjuna. That Krishna teaching Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. That picture always comes to our mind. When we hear Krishna's pastimes, what comes in our mind? Huh? His wonderful form. Right? So when we read Bhagavad Gita, that photograph, that picture will appear in our heart. When we hear Krishna's pastimes, that wonderful form of Krishna will appear in our heart. What does that mean? That means yuge means every millennium. Another meaning of yuge means time to time. So every time we hear Krishna's pastimes, Krishna appears in our heart. That means he is taking incarnation. Then what is happening? In our heart, there are demoniac qualities are there. He is destroying those demoniac qualities and protecting whatever good qualities we already have, or giving them more good qualities. Right? More good qualities. Right? That's why that is another meaning of paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya dushkritam. So again and again we hear Krishna's pastimes. Again and again we read Bhagavad Gita. Krishna keeps appearing in our heart again and again, time to time. Then he keeps destroying all the demonic qualities in our heart, and then give more and more good qualities. Krishna prema, right? Like Ramanuja says, many times I've explained. Vitaraga bhayakroda manmaya mam upashita bahavo jnana tapasa puta mad bhavamagataha. Right? Sri Ramanuja explains that we are all troubled by raga, bhaya and krodha. What is that? What are they? Raga, bhaya and krodha. What is meant by raga? Asakti? Please remember, raga is very, very dangerous quality. When we are all lusty, we are all having desires. And then we think that we are praying to Krishna or something. So if Krishna fulfills, we are okay. Otherwise, okay. Right? But raga means the lust, increased stage of lust, where intense attachment it becomes, that I will do whatever, by hook or crook, I will get it. I will get it. Even if I have to break regular dharma. That is the condition of Ravanasur, raga. He developed raga for Sitaji so much that Malyavan and all, they came and advised Ravanasur. That many times I told this. One Shiva Shanacharya made one very nice poem where I forgot that. But he says that there are only two most foolish people in this history of the world. One was Ravanasur, another was Duryodhan. Even after Ravanasur saw single monkey came and destroyed Lanka, Ashokvan and all, he still went to fight with Ram. Duryodhan, even after seeing Arjuna single-handedly defeating entire Kaurav Sena in Virat Yuddha, he still went to war with them. That is why there are only two most foolish people. Even though they are the most advised people. Means they got the maximum amount of advice, both of them. Like that. But still, why? Because raga and dvesha. So we should be, So, one Acharya says that we should not allow our lust to become raga. Otherwise, it is very difficult to get rid, and then Krishna has to come and kill, that person like that. So, Vitaraga, Bhaya, Krodha. So, Raga, Bhaya, and Krodha. It is our condition now. So, if you understand, what is Jnana Tapasa? Bolo? Huh? What is Jnana Tapasa? Anyway, many times I explained. Jnana Tapasa, Ramanuja says that you sit down. These three are a word. We have to understand. Janma Karma Chame Divyam, Vitarag Vaikroda, Ye Yathamam Prabhadyante. This is set. So, if somebody sits down and takes, Acharya's literatures and all, they study very deeply and research, and then come to the conclusion that Krishna's birth and Krishna's pastimes are transcendental. That is called Jnana Tapasa. That's called Jnana Tapasa. So, and this Jnana Tapasa is the highest. Better than, sitting in the Himalayas and in the middle of the baraf and, doing tapasya. Sit in your comforts of your room and study proper literature and Krishna Jagadaguru's commentary, and then come to the conclusion that how Krishna's pastimes and Krishna's Janma are transcendental. Then that is Jnana Tapasa. If you do that Jnana Tapasa, then you will become Puta. Puta means you will become purified. Then many people have done it. Bhava, Jnana Tapasa. Puta, you will become purified. Then Mad Bhavam Agataha. You will attain my nature. What is Krishna's nature? He is free from Raga, Bhaya, and Krodha. Understand? This is, and then Ye Yathamam Prabhadyante, Tam Sata Bhajamyaham. Then he says that if you understand that my Janma and pastimes are transcendental by doing Jnana Tapasa, when you become free from this, just like I am Janmarahitya, and then my birth and activities are transcendental, I will make my devotees Janma and Karma also transcendental, like Prabhupada. Right? That is why we keep on glorifying Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise, if you don't understand, if you don't accept, then I will make them repeat in the cycle of birth and death. Ye yatamam prapadyante tam satyam. So, in order to encourage all of us to study about Krishna, so much literature, Prabhupada says, Jiva Goswami is the greatest scholar that, there is nobody in the modern history that so much literature, wrote about Krishna, especially Sandarbhas and, Rupa Goswami. So much, is there. So we should spend our time reading about Krishna more and more. Try to, understand how Krishna's pastimes and Krishna's Janma are transcendental. Then Krishna will make our Janma and Karma also transcendental. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Any questions, comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, in the beginning, you mentioned that Prabhupada wanted everyone, you quoted Radhanath Maharaj that a brahmachari should be ready to give class. And definitely it's true. Prabhupada wanted everyone to speak spontaneously. I want to read one letter Prabhupada wrote to Upendra Prabhu on how to give class. So, Prabhupada talks about himself. He says, speaking or anything all depends on practice and study. I remember when I was first called for speaking by one of my senior godbrothers, I felt very much hesitating because I was not practiced to speak. Later on, by speaking and hearing or reading, I got experience and now we can speak 45 minutes, 50 minutes, or 1 hour at a stretch. So you have to read our books very nicely and gather thoughts. Then you can speak for hours without any difficulty. It requires practice. So read our books carefully, especially Nectar of Devotion, now published, and practice speaking. It will be all right. It's 24th June,
So that's
1970.
what when Radharama said, that means, what does that mean? So that you should always ready. Means you should keep on reading every day. Then if suddenly somebody comes and asks you, I give. Otherwise, some devotees, they want 2 days in advance, notice. Or Hemgiri has a problem. Right? Every time he has to come running to me. So, right? So you keep on reading every day. Then if there is no need for, just like I came and spoke, I didn't prepare anything. Like that, you should be ready. That is the meaning. That is. So yeah, you should practice like that. Of course, there are certain topics we need to prepare. You just can't. Right? I was giving Ram Katha lectures. I am preparing so much. So many things like that. Yeah. But otherwise, in general, you should be ready. I will tell you one very nice pastime. Once Prabhupada was giving lecture in Vrindavan temple, then he sang Jai Radha Madhava. Then he said Jayam Vishnupad and all that. Then Prabhupada said, I want one of you to speak. And then everybody was shocked. Then Gunarnav Prabhu, Prabhupada was looking at people, who will speak, who will speak. And then Gunarnav Prabhu was telling, oh my God, please save me. And then he was hiding himself. If earth opens, I will go inside. Like that he was thinking. Then finally, Trivikram Maharaj, that time Prabhu, he said, I will speak. And he was very, very bundle of nerves. So that time, no books are available. And whatever they would hear from Prabhupada, every word of Prabhupada is golden for them. Oh, Prabhupada said this, Prabhupada. Then they would, during morning time, they would keep the lecture of Prabhupada. Whatever, it's all nectar. Otherwise, only three volumes are available that time. Even Bhagavad-Gita was not there. Slowly, they came. So, Trivikram Maharaj spoke that I'm not this body, I'm the soul, and Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Everybody should surrender. One should follow four regulative principles. Just standard ISKCON lecture, and what is standard ISKCON lecture? Tell we are all suffering in this material world, suffering because of birth, death, old age, and disease. Then threefold miseries, and then the 84 lakh species. Uh, and then you should surrender to Krishna, chant Hare Krishna, and then tell the story of Dhruv Maharaj or Prahlad Maharaj or Amrish Maharaj. So once I was invited for some lecture in Goregaon. Then he said, Prabhuji, please don't speak about Dhruv Maharaj past. बहुत बार सुन लिया. That was, standard ISKCON lectures, every year, every day, same lecture. Birthday, old age, and threefold miseries. Dhruv Maharaj pastime or Amrish Maharaj pastime or Prahlad Maharaj favorite. Anyway, he was telling. So 20 minutes he spoke. Then Prabhupada, he just got up and ran towards Trivikram Maharaj and then very tightly embraced him. And then patted him. Oh, Gunnar, अरे क्या गलती हो गया? I should have spoken. I would have got a hug from Prabhupada, like that. So, once Hanumat Prest Maharaj, he was giving lecture. Prabhupada was hearing. He was telling some story from here, this Purana, that Purana. Prabhupada told him, hey, stop, tell him to stop this. What is nonsense he's speaking? You don't have to tell this story and that story. Speak, Krishna conscious philosophy. Yes, Prabhupada. Like that. So, yeah. There are many times Prabhupada, asked his disciples to speak and then they spoke very spontaneously. Once there was some meeting was going on, Prabhupada told one devotee, tell your experience. He said, I make chapatis for the devotees. So I get lot of pleasure. I don't know Krishna, but I am making chapatis for devotees. So I am very happy. Prabhupada said, very nice. Very nice realization. Like that. Okay, Hare Krishna. Grandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Ram.